My brothers, they're way older than me. So my mom had me at 41. My brothers are in their 50s now. One of them's dead. He passed away in 99 from an overdose. So just my whole childhood, I've seen a lot of drugs, violence, gangs, bikers, that kind of scenario, a lot of death. Since I can remember, I've at least know 1 to 5 people that have died per year.
All right. Justin Sloan. Hey, welcome to the O Coalition.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here. I'm especially happy you're here. It's interesting. You sat down and you shared like some pretty dark stuff from your past.
Yeah, 100%.
And I was looking in your eyes and it's like, wait a minute, there's something really extraordinary there. So I can't wait to open this up a little bit. Give us just a couple of minutes, and we don't need to hear everything, right? But give us a couple minutes just to give people an idea, like where you're coming from, and if there's anything in particular that you would love to get support on, what that area is. It doesn't have to be exact, but kind of the theme of where you'd like some support.
So basically, I kind of grew up as a modern day Viking type scenario, the biker-esque or gang violence. And I grew up in a small town called Lompoc. It's a farm town, but there's runoff from other cities, big cities, LA, and different areas. And what happens in those small towns, you have the X amount of people there, and there's a lot of gang violence and different things. But so I grew up as a minority. So I got picked on a lot as a kid. And from a kid to adulthood, I went from being bullied to being the bully to like, being a nice guy again. So there was a whole process there. I would say we were probably lower middle class, and I had good parents, they're good people, but they weren't, a lot of people in my life weren't the most emotionally intelligent people. So I was in fear. I'd say a lot of the time there was love, but there was a lot of fear there too. Very reactive, like whether it's my siblings, my family, my friends, the kids we grew up with, there was a lot of fear. Like I was scared for myself. And so everything became like a defense mechanism.
Okay. Okay. And keep going.
Yeah. So my brothers, they're way older than me. So my mom had me at 41. My brothers are in their 50s now. One of them's dead. He passed away in 99 from an overdose. So just my whole childhood, I've seen a lot of drugs, violence, gangs, bikers, that kind of scenario, a lot of death. Since I can remember, I've at least know 1 to 5 people that have died per year. So moving to Utah. So I'm from, like I said, Lompoc, California. Looking at it from an outside perspective now, I realized that I didn't have a normal life, quote unquote. It was definitely on the outskirts, something you'd see in a movie, I would say.
Sounds like it'd be a couple movies.
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah, definitely lived multiple lives.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's going on now for you?
So with all that, the bullying, the this, that, and the other, I would say the thing that comes to me is I have a thing with imposter syndrome, I think.
Okay.
And maybe it's the self-worth issue or never being loved without conditional love or the approach of that. So for me, it's trying to understand and navigate those situations, I think.
All right. And so how does it show up? Like if you're calling it imposter syndrome, how would that show up in life?
So, for instance, the amount of certifications over the span from 18, I'm 36, never felt like I was a good enough coach. So I kept getting more and more and more. And, like, oh, there's always somebody better. So I think of that 1% person or like that 1% athlete or whoever. And then it's hard for me to look at where I was before, where I'm going. And I never really am present and appreciative. I think one of the things I lack most is internal gratitude
Yep.
for
Yep.
who I am now.
So you've got all these certifications, but it's still not enough. It's like,
Yeah.
if I just had one more, because you've done a lot.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I've trained pro athletes, like, some of my friends played for the Dallas Cowboys or the Rockets or whatever, and they tell me, You're like a top 5, top 1% coach," but it's hard for me to see it because
Okay.
I know there's people that are, quote, unquote, "better than me."
All right. So there's two things we're going to work on, and that's one. But there's one other piece that I think that is probably above that we need to address first. And it's your dad's relationship with you.
Mhm.
And one of the things, I don't know if he's still alive.
So here's interesting thing about my parents. So my stepdad has been there since day 1,
Okay.
like, literally when I was born.
Okay.
So my real dad, we have an idea of who he is, but I'm not 100% sure. So, but he's been in the picture, yes. So,
Okay,
kind
okay.
hypothetically.
And one of the ways that, God speaks to me is just like through my willingness to allow for a person to show up in my space. And then instead of like getting it from like something else, I just like, hey, God, is there anything that Justin needs to know today? And this is a big one. It's that father piece, whatever that meant to you, right? Whether it was the stepdad, which feels like it's more true,
Mhm.
but there's like this disdain energy around
Mhm.
it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So is that coming from abuse? Was that
Um,
was that from just
n
absence?
I wouldn't say physical abuse. Emotionally, he was angry at himself and his job, and he didn't always, they smoked cigarettes and stuff, so, like, he did love us. He never I wouldn't say they didn't, like, beat on us a ton or anything like that, but emotionally, when he would come home, my mom would be like, "Hey, dad's home from work," and there would be yelling and stuff, potentially. Not all the time, but more than not.
Okay. All right. That is like I was sharing with Amelia a while ago, this idea of the stair step where it's like, hey, we got to clear that out in order to kind of move to the imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
Right. So I'm going to guide you through a couple prompts. And so when you say them and you'll say them out loud, you'll just breathe. And if there's an emotional charge, it's going to come up. And so you just want to let it come up as you breathe. If it gets really intense, you can do the whole brain posture where you cross your ankles and your wrists like this. That'll connect something in your brain to allow for more energy to move.
Okay.
All right. It's just called the whole brain posture. You want to try it real
Yeah.
quick, just so you know?
Does it matter which leg?
No,
Okay.
you pick. And
And then
then,
I go here?
yep, there you go. And that activates what's called the corpus callosum, and it connects the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And so if there's a hard situation that someone's going to face and there's a lot of emotion, sometimes a child, especially a young person, can get stuck in one side or the other. And this can help kind of balance that out so that the healing can actually occur. Because God does all the healing,
Mhm.
and we just open up and allow it. But if we're hiding from it, then we're sort of keeping it, under the rug in the back room. Like, hey, I hope no one goes back there and lifts up the rug and sees what's under there. And we're going to say, like, hey, you know what? It's okay. We're going to bring the light into the room and shine it under the rug and let whatever's there come out. And whatever comes out, I just call it energy.
Okay.
Just, whether it's emotion or whatever it is, but it just moves. All right. So I cancel trying to control my life. I cancel trying to control my life.
I cancel trying to control my life.
You just breathe and feel. It should be pretty gentle at first. I allow my relationship with my dad to heal.
I allow my relationship with my dad to heal.
I release any judgments I hold of myself,
I release any judgments I hold
of myself,
of myself,
and that I could have done it better.
and that I could have done it better.
And breathe. Okay, so there's a little more energy with that one. Right? Just keep the breath moving. I allow him to be as he was,
I allow him to be as he was.
and I let go of trying to change any part of my past.
I let go of trying to change any part of my past.
Beautiful. So the energy's really moving, right? It's
Yeah.
cranking, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like, I can't handle this anymore. Where is it at?
Like a 5?
Okay, good. That's perfect. So keep your breath moving. You okay to continue?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's go.
I release trying to make myself better than,
I release trying to make myself better than,
and I allow myself to fail.
and I allow myself to fail.
Breathe. I want you to see yourself actually with your father. Again, I'm saying father, whoever that father figure is that you want to connect with. So I want you to see yourself with your father. Let me know when you can see him.
I
Okay.
can see him.
And look him in the eyes. Just look him in the eyes. And now you're going to stand behind your body. Just imagine standing behind your body as you're looking in his eyes. And you're going to drop right into the back of your heart and you're going to spiral down. Just feel yourself kind of spiraling down like a kid slide until you land in the center of your heart. Let me know when you land. Okay. All right. So now the distortion that a lot of people have is that love's limited, but in God, there's no limit. It's a different kind of love. It's not an earthly love, right? It's the agape, the pure, the perfect, the rakma in Aramaic. It's the essence of God. And so what you're going to do is you're going to look at your dad, keep your eyes on your dad. You're sitting in your heart and you're going to say, I command my heart to open
I command my heart to open
and allow the infinite power of God's love
and allow the infinite power of God's love
to
to,
go to my Father.
to go to my Father.
And breathe and just feel sensations as that heart opens and that energy moves. I also allow for me to receive this infinite power of God's love.
Sorry, repeat
I
that.
also allow me
I also allow me
to receive this infinite power of God's love.
to receive this infinite power,
God's love.
God's love.
There you go. Breathe. So you're just saying, I allow myself to receive the love. You got it. There you go. Okay. So now you're feeling it, right? There's like an energy. Now the last thing is I cancel trying to make my dad other than what God made him to be. And all you have to do is say, I let it be.
I let it be.
There you go. Breathe. Awesome. You're doing great. Right. All right. So I allow my dad to be who my dad is today,
I allow my dad to be who he is,
to
today.
be who he is today. And I embrace him constantly in this ever perfect love, which all you have to do is say, I allow it.
I allow it.
Perfect. Agree. Okay, so now you can open your eyes and you can uncross if you want. How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So 1 to 10, you're
Still 5, 6, maybe.
5, 6, okay, so the energy's still
Yeah.
kinda there. So what happened is there's like a softening, right? It's a softening, and now we can open the gateway to the imposter piece,
Mhm.
which is actually quite simple. It's the same kind of approach that we just took, except we're gonna kinda shift it, and think of it like this. If I have a mirror and you were to look in the mirror and I was to say, describe Justin to me, and you would say whatever you'd say. Okay. And let's pretend, because we can all see you, right? You're a handsome guy. You got this beautiful hair and mustache and I mean, these gorgeous eyes. Like, I mean, dude, you're rocking it,
I
right?
appreciate it.
And you're strong. I mean, obviously, you work out, you're built. So the opportunity, or you work hard outside, whatever it is, the opportunity here is to recognize like who is it that you're seeing, right? And if you were to describe yourself in that mirror, how would you describe yourself to somebody? What do you see?
I see a hurt child. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely strong, and I'm definitely capable. I'm adaptive, and I understand that, I signed up for a soul contract that most people wouldn't sign up for. So, I reassure myself, usually I don't know if I'm describing myself now, but, when I see a strong individual of armor, but, there's sometimes it feels like it's hollow and there's not the child smiling on the inside.
Okay. So there's a protective mechanism on the outside, making sure that the wounded child isn't going to feel any more pain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which would potentially be reflected in imposter syndrome from the standpoint of it doesn't matter how much the outer guard does,
Mm.
it'll never satisfy the hurt inner child, right? But it can if the inner child steps forward, turns around, and steps into the light of what life could be rather than cowering in the back. Would you agree?
Yes,
All right.
100%.
So this is a really fun place that we get to go. So what I want you to do is imagine holding a baby. It's however you would hold a baby, not like I'm holding, but like
Yeah.
holding around the waist. Imagine holding a baby, however you'd hold a baby. All right, good. And now imagine looking into that child's eyes. Just imagine looking into that child's eyes. Have you had babies or around you?
Not that I know, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I definitely have been
You've
around
held a
babies,
baby?
yeah.
Alright, cool. So you've had real life experience. I was
Yes.
imagine holding a newborn child here. Alright, I want you to look into those eyes and feel. Feel the feelings that you feel as you look in those eyes. Really look, really see through those eyes. What are you seeing? How would you describe what you're seeing right now?
I see joy and, appreciation, kindness and, innocence.
I allow myself to see that in myself
I allow myself to see that in myself.
and invite God to show me
I
how,
invite
how to heal.
I invite God to show me how to heal.
Right? Keep looking at that child. Keep imagining that child. Now you're going to invite, did you have a nickname as a little kid?
My nickname is actually it was tattooed across my chest. It's Meathead.
Meathead. All right.
Yeah, because I was stubborn. I'd be the kid that runs, hits my head on the coffee table and keep going.
Yeah. All right. So you're going to call forward Meathead. All right. So, hey, Meathead,
Hey, Meathead.
I invite you to come into this inner child relationship. I invite you to come into this inner child relationship.
I invite you to come into this inner child relationship.
You don't have to,
You don't have to,
but it's going to be good for both of us.
but it's going to be good for both of us.
So breathe. Keep looking at that child's eyes. Keep looking in the child's eyes and tell me what you see. You don't have to make anything up. If you see the same thing, the joy and the appreciation, that's fine. But if you experience anything else, let me know.
I actually seen the child disappear.
Okay, cool,
But then when you were talking about it, I seen blue eyes similar to my own.
excellent. All right, so now this is me. Or you're just gonna say it. This is me.
This is me.
I accept me,
I accept me.
and I invite me to stay.
I invite me to stay.
Hey, meathead,
Hey, Meathead,
you're with me.
you're with me.
All right, breathe. There you go. Now their energy is totally shifting. I don't know if you feel it, but it's like totally shifting. It's like I feel like you've come home. You feel that?
Yeah, it's interesting because I have such a hard time with I kept trying to part ways with my old self rather than, like, embrace it and, accept it for what it was and what it is instead of, because the tattoos are getting covered up and, different parts of me are getting covered up as well, and, it's okay to shred layers and to change, but I think there's been a gap rather than a bridge to connect the 2.
Yeah, yeah. And now it still feels that way, or it's feeling like
It
there's a bridge
it
formed?
feels like, there's a bridge forming.
Okay. So now we're gonna walk on the bridge.
Okay.
All right. So close your eyes. So now you're gonna look in the mirror again. Right. Go back to look in the mirror at yourself. Take a nice breath. Really look in your eyes. There you go. You don't have to say a word. Just look at yourself. Allow yourself to see fully who you are. There you go. All right. Describe what you're seeing now.
I see a strong man smiling back at me. I see, somebody that's ready to take on situations that I may have, been fearful of and to understand and, communicate with myself that I can handle the trials and tribulations that feel like lashings rather than, weights that I ask for, for broader shoulders.
Feels a lot different than the guy with the armor and the kid wounded in the back.
It does.
Yeah. And that was what, 10 minutes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's real.
It is real.
Yeah. And
Feel it.
it will stay with you. Like when you leave this podcast, you're going to carry that forever. Like it's there. It's not like, oh, it's just there for a show. No, it's there and it will stay with you. And frankly, if someone were kind of playing along at home while they were watching this and they really did it, they'd experience their own healing in their own way, right? Because everyone has their own stuff. But there's a gift. I told you before, like that you're blessed. And so this is the unexpected part that I want to leave you with, and we'll wrap up. All right. Once in a while, when I'm working with someone, God will bring a message to me like, hey, he needs to hear this or she needs to hear this. And what he shared with me is the blessed part is like God has like his chosen people for missions. And there's a mission that you're called to that will be like obvious within like 3 to 4 days. I mean, it's quick. It's going to become really obvious. And this mission is such that it'll feel almost like, wait, do I get to do that? And it's going to feel like that. Do I get to do that? I like that's for me. And it is. And so whenever that comes over you, whether it's in a dream state or if you do go to church and you do stay a little longer and just say, hey, God, like I'm ready, like show me. Because once you say yes, God's there. I mean, he's already been waiting, but you're like right at the doorway of yes to why you've gone through everything you've gone through, right? Why you have all the certifications that, you didn't need and all the things that you were hiding from and all the jobs that you jumped from. It's like, oh, wait, had you done it any differently, you wouldn't be the guy for this mission, right? And that's the gift that I think a lot of people miss where they think that people are chosen and there's sort of like the hand of God comes down and this voice says, Justin, do this. And it's quiet, and it's home and it's safe and it's like courageous and it's everything because God brings all of that, when we say yes to all of it. And this part of the imposter is what's blocked you from hearing it. So now that it's out of the way, it's like kind of shifting to the back. It doesn't mean you won't have an echo of it, but it's an echo. It's no longer going to have the power that it had. And when it echoes, it's just like, oh, okay, well, that's an echo, right? Just like if I yelled in a canyon, it's like I know that's not my voice anymore. It's an echo coming back at me. What's not the original. And so let the echo be the echo. It's like just let it pass. Like, oh yeah, okay, that was the echo. And then open up to hear what that mission is. And you always can say no. Like you have in life, we have free will. So you can always say no, but at least hear it, right? Are you willing to hear it? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So then you will. And so watch in the next 3, 4 days, just watch what comes into your life and what kind of energy starts to open and move you forward and trust that that movement is sort of the celebration, right? Let's say you never had a birthday party and suddenly you're 15 years old and someone throws you a birthday party. It's like, wait, is this for me? It's that energy. Yes, it's for you. So receive it. Receive it. Are you willing?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, Justin.
Yeah,
And you know what? Maybe we'll do like a recap later,
yeah,
like
we
in a,
should.
in a couple months. We'll have you back and like,
Awesome.
hey, what's
That'd be
going on in
great.
your life? Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. My pleasure.
All
It's
right,
been fun to
cool.
be here.